How hard did you push it? Till I black out? Yes. Numerous times, yes.
All right, everyone. We have on a very, very, very special moment tonight, I feel like, because we have not done one of these yet.
Nope.
This is a collaboration for the ages. Is this no laying up and foreplay? No.
Nah.
Is this? Oh God, I forget the name of that podcast. Oh my God, is this the Friday and
in the park
and shotgun start? No, it's not. And this is getting bad because I just had all of this planned out and it didn't go the way I wanted to. So we're just going into it. This is the Duffin Up and the MuniciPals podcast collaboration. I am so excited for this. We have on the three Duffin Up boys. Not RIP Mike. Mike's still on paternity leave. And then we have on Ashton and Big Chris from the MuniciPals. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
What's up, boys? Doing really well. Glad to be on. Glad to do a dual collab episode. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah. And of course, a huge shout out just before we begin to Jeff from Chase and Aces. He got us in contact with each other. Very, very happy that he did that. I know you guys are both Pacific Northwest guys or
yeah.
Sorry, Ashton.
I've
I know
gone back way back with Jeff. Jeff is way before golf. I've known Jeff for a long time. We actually met at a local coffee shop called Deadstock, sneaker coffee shop in Portland. Only Portland.
I was just about to say, I knew you were a sneakerhead and I knew he was a sneakerhead. So I was like, this is going to be, and of course, Mike is our resident sneakerhead as well. But unbelievable that we were able to kind of get this going. I know it's been a hot minute, but we've been trying to do this for a bit, but we're very pumped about this. So first question to both of you. Well, pretty much just to Big Chris right now. Chris, has Frankie moved up the leaderboard now? Has she finally passed club champion as the number one in your life?
After the consistent roasting that I've gotten after I stated that through our podcast, absolutely. Undefined number one. Club champion is like 50 steps below where Frank ranks now. She is the top of the totem pole. So yes, she's up there now. That was a horrible take on my part and not what a father should say. But hey, it was said and I take it back. But
yeah, man, that's somebody's daughter.
I'm still in love with her.
You totally can't roast on somebody else's daughter. But just going off of the shoe game, does that correlate to your golf shoe game? Do you have
it? It absolutely does. Ashton can contest. I don't think there's many rounds Ashton's played with me where I play in the same golf shoes unless we're on a golf trip, but I usually bring 3 to 4 pairs with us. So, we'll play 5 rounds and I'll have enough shoes almost to play a different pair every time we play a different round. So
now, are you more of a, sorry about that, Chris. Are you more of a sneaker? Are you more of like the Air Jordan type, or are you more of obviously I play spikeless now and I love them, but like there's the Adidas, which are much more like a sneaker, Air Jordans, much more like a sneaker, Nike sneaker, or do you play like the old school, like FootJoys, the Echoes now are like that too? Or are you much more like, I'm a sneakerhead, we are playing like that type, we are only wearing those type of shoes?
So it depends on the course, depends on the vibe, depends on the outfit that I want to put together. So if I'm playing a little bit classier, let's say we do get the occasional invite to a private course, guys. Shocker, we do play private courses here and there.
Ponies.
if
Big
we
ponies.
do get that insight.
Chris, we're off. I have not said a word, and we are off to a fucking horrible start. just keep going. Keep going. We don't have a paternity policy. There are guys on paternity leave. Your ass is doing the podcast. You said contest. I can contest instead of attest. Wrong verb.
Yeah, what?
We weren't going to follow up on that. We weren't going to.
Well, I have to. This is therapeutic because I have to hear Chris say contest and attest every week, and I just swallow it. And now I can actually fucking say something. It's like, no. It's like Tom Doak's group is not the fucking caveman. That's Gil Hanse. Pasatiempo is not designed by fucking Peter Jacobson. These are important fucking facts. And if people are coming to us for facts, which I guess they're not, because what the fuck are we saying?
How would they tune into us for facts?
I don't know. I mean, we could just do Chris talk and Ashton plays proofread. That fuck MuniciPals, because apparently we play private golf courses. Let's have Chris talk, and I'll be the editor. Like, excuse me, Chris, that's not quite correct. Without a comma there. Okay, I'll go back on you. Go ahead, Chris. Tell them about how you sneaker for every
I
day.
said the
Ashton,
occasional private course.
Hold on, Ashton, are you looking for a job? You need a new podcast to join? It sounds like there's a little trouble in paradise over here. What's going on?
Duffin Up has acquired MuniciPals on this podcast for the price of one hot dog and a pair of shoes.
Ashton is just a spicy, bitter man sometimes, and this is his one time that he can just come out, lay it on the line. This is like our phone calls not on podcasts. This is how we communicate. So
yeah,
let it out. Let it out, man. Air it out.
This is Ashton. This is the real Ashton. People don't get to hear this on the MuniciPals podcast.
Well, the only time I get to say it is when people talk about fucking Sharp Park and how great it is, and it's McKinsey. It's like, true. Yeah, I mean, like people say it's a McKinsey. The equivalent I say is like, it's like if you take a human body and you chop it up into little bits and you like just mutilate it, and you're like, well, it's a person. It's like, I mean, not really anymore, right? It's like, okay, like Sharp Park is just sort of a fucking waste of time. Sorry to the show. I mean, I'm just going to continue to get roasted about this, but there's certain things that grind my gears, and it's like, hey, we only have so much time. We all have like families and situations, and you have to devote, 4, 5, 6 hours to how far you're going. I'm not going to go play a course where the fucking greens are plinko and where I would describe the greens as, quote, slimy. And I don't really care if it was a McKinsey. If the greens are slimy and there was like putting on plinko, fucking unsubscribe. So again, I'm way too hot out of the gate here, but yeah, like I never get this way, but suddenly I guess Chris saying contest and attest just has my, I don't know. I guess my blood's boiling over here. I don't know.
He's just jealous of my sneaker collection. And when I get to talk about it and I get to go in about it, it gets him upset. And
all I know is when I come visit you next time, I am going to count, because on 3 straight podcasts, you've said you have a pair of sneakers for every day. And that is sure as shit not true. And I'm going to fucking count the number of sneakers. And if it's 364, I'm going to be on your ass. So that's what I'm saying.
I should turn the camera and just show you the closet.
Okay, help us, guys. This has turned into a 1v1.
No. Continue. Please continue. This is great.
The whole time I'm watching Ashton's T-boil, I'm just looking at his dynamite mustache. I'm like, that is fantastic. How long did that one take to grow? That thing is great.
I kind of a couple weeks, and then it just kind of, it's all I got. I can do a goatee, but all I've got is the mustache. I've also realized that this like salmon colored shirt is making me look like I'm angrier than I am. I am not angry. Like, I don't know what has happened. I am so sorry. I have taken
your aura is very red at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm repping our Sugarloaf Social Club over here. But yeah, no, it's very red. I'm always a little bit flush, but I seem angrier than I am. So I'm sorry, Chris. I love you. I want to keep doing the podcast with you. We have not been acquired by Duffin Up, but I am excited to hear you guys talk, because now I'm feeling self-conscious. So I'll go back on mute.
Acquired for $0, because that's what we $0.
Yeah, we can't even get you a hot dog. We really can't offer you much.
No, we may have to actually ask you to pay to be acquired.
Yeah, can you pay?
We need the infrastructure. We need everything on that. Oh man, but that is funny. So now, Chris, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, so as the sneakers go, so if I'm playing somewhere a little fancier, I'm gonna throw FootJoys on. I'm a big traditions guy when it comes to FootJoys. So if I'm gonna do that, I've got about 5 or 6 pairs of those. So those get rotated through, but the majority of my stuff is going to be a mix of spiked and spikeless Adidas and Nike. I don't think I did get into New Balance 564. They did like a skate style, like cleatless shoe, which was really comfortable, really cool. But outside of that, it's like 90% Nike Jordan and then like 10% Adidas when it comes to the rest of my stuff. So it's heavy on the Jordan retros, really, really heavy on like the victory tours. Like if I'm getting serious and like we're playing a real tournament and I'm throwing spiked victory tours on most of the time.
Now, have you ever done what Pat Perez did with the Jordan 1s and just take those little, 6 things, screw them right in and be like, these are golf shoes now?
Hell no. No, not going to do that. At one, I wouldn't, I don't have fuck you money like he does.
He does.
And so I'm not going to ruin a $200 pair. Yeah. And so I'm not going to go and ruin, a good pair that I would wear on the street. So no, not really my thing. And now that they're doing Jordan 1 golf shoes and they're doing them in highs now too, which I've gotten every pair of those since those released. I think like there's no way that I would go that route. But I mean, they're killing it. Jordan is absolutely destroying it with their golf releases.
I just ordered a pair of the lows, the Jordan 1 low golf, the wolf gray ones. I don't know if you have a pair of those, but
they're comfy.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really like wearing slippers out there. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's good on the course. I wear them to work, but I had to change out the insoles because on hardwood floors, there's no cushioning in a Air Jordan 1. Like it's just literally it's like vulcanized sole, like a skate shoe. There is no cushioning at all. So when I wear them to work, because I have to wear golf shoes to work every day, I had to change out insoles. But on the course, on grass, it's totally fine.
In my head, I forgot that you're in the golf industry. So you were saying wearing them to work. I was like, I just pictured you clacking around on the tile flooring. I'm like, what is this?
It's like the Bryson and Brooks video. It's like Chris with his like 8-inch like metal spikes, just like crunching around at his office.
Like Chris in accounting over there. He's clacking around. You can hear him coming around.
Oh, Ashton's just in the background. He just goes, oh.
Yeah, we've got a little Brooks Bryson energy, Chris. I'm sorry. Yeah.
What team are you guys on, Brooks or Bryson?
Oh man, I would have said Brooks. That's almost impossible now. Yeah, I feel like back in the day, on the PGA, Brooks for sure.
Yeah,
and
I lost all respect
wasn't
for Brooks
for club champion. I was so fucking mad when we picked him up. I mean, we dropped Jordan Spieth for Bryson.
Not the best look.
Luckily, we kicked him out the minute he joined Live. It was like, dude, you have to play in at least 30 events to hold your contract with us, so you're out.
Yeah. So who do you have now? Who's club champion?
So Paige Sporanic is our big one.
What's up?
She's the big get right there.
That's easy on the eyes for sure. Easy on the eyes.
Yeah, I mean with almost 4 million followers on Instagram, it actually makes more sense to have her than most pro golfers.
Yeah.
I mean,
over Tiger for sure.
She brings more people in the store than like all 4 of our PGA ambassadors did combined.
That's
like,
cool.
It's crazy. And then we've got Jim Furyk, gotta have Jim.
Please tell me you have
I mean, if you're going to fit somebody well, do that swing. Like if we can fit that swing, we're solid.
Bingo. Right. We can fit that swing. We can fit any swing.
Yeah. Putting back on Brian right there. Is fluff included in that deal?
Yeah, he's got to be a package.
So does he just stand there?
I assume he's got to be included.
Ashton's working on his fluff mustache right now.
Yep, when we had Spieth, we had McCormick too. So we had his coach and Spieth were both ambassadors with us when back.
I probably devalued the deal. I think kind of tough scene for McCormick recently. I don't know that actually helped much.
It was back when Jordan was on that winning clip when we had him on staff. I mean, the minute that was the sad thing. The minute he started declining is the minute we dropped him. So I don't know that. And then Lexi Thompson is our other girl that we got.
I love Lexi. We have an event, CVS Charity Classic in Rhode Island every year. It's right before. Is it the weekend before the U.S. Open? Is that what it is?
Monday after.
The Monday after the U.S. Open, and so Tim and I are from Rhode Island originally, and Brennan just over the border. But we have that's like the only pro tournament that we have in Rhode Island that brings it. We have it at Rhode Island Country. Rhode Island Country Club in Barrington, and so it brings a good crowd, and that's where. But Lexi Thompson is someone that comes regularly, along with we've seen Annika Sorensen there and a lot of good faces, but Lexi Thompson was there back. I don't even know what year it was, but she was probably 16 and we were 16, 17 at the time. And we were like, we gotta invite her to the beach. We gotta bring her. We were like, Lexi, she doing autographs. We're like, Lexi, you gotta come to the beach with us. What are you doing? She goes, I wish. And she she like a lot of those pro athletes, even though she at the time was 16 or 17. I mean, she looks like she's 34. Like she's just built different, like all those athletes, and she's super cool. And obviously one of the more successful people on tour. But I'm all in on Lexi Thompson. She's a great gal. She didn't come to the beach with us though. As an update, as you could probably predict.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's more to that story. Please,
there's
please
nothing more to the story except her breaking our hearts. But because of Brad Faxon, Rhode Island guy, he's the one who puts it all and gets all the good talent there. Cool. And actually, Mike, who's our fourth podcaster, his brother asked Brad Faxon for his visor, so he has a legit Brad Faxon visor. He gave it off gave it right off his head to him and gave it to him. And then that was when Bubba was there before he won the Masters a couple times, and we're like, Bubba, can we get your visor? Because now we're riding the visor train. We're like, we can get anyone's visor at this point. And Bubba's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, all right, Bubba.
That's back to Bubba. Bubba still might be an asshole, but back then he was like a really tough scene, like the fake Christianity and all that shit.
Yeah, he was not good. He was not a good person.
Which stinks because he's the most marketable person. His name is Bubba. He wears he just looks hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so marketable, totally. But he's such a D-bag.
Well, Brendan, the funny thing that you can attest to as a fellow lefty is it's funny because, my whole life people have been like, people assume that I love Phil and I love Bubba. And I was like, no, it's cool to see a left-handed swing, and it's cool to kind of see yourself out there a little bit. Cause I watch golf and not the way I see the world, but it's Phil has always been a maniac, only worse recently. And then, hearing that Bubba's a dipshit, but it was like, Bubba, I went to UGA, Bubba went to UGA. I used to play a ping driver. I was like, this should be a match made in heaven. But as somebody who grew up in the South, there's a lot of kind of bullshit, Christianity to kind of paper over everything else. I was like, I don't care how he swings the golf club. I'm out on that. So right. I'm sure you probably feel, well, you may love him. I'm not going to make an assumption.
No, I don't like Bubba. I do love Phil Mickelson. I do love Phil.
Yeah. Phil's a train wreck you just can't turn away from, though.
That's true.
You just cannot not pay attention to him.
The 2020 PGA champion, or 2021 PGA championship, the dude was coming off winning a Champions Tour event 2 weeks before. And everyone was like, oh, Phil's oh, look, Phil's playing well. Oh, look, Phil. Oh my God, he has the lead. This is so cool. Oh my God, he's going to win the turn. It literally went like that. And also
even on Sunday, literally he bogeys one. And it's okay, Brooks is going to win by 4 shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he just puts Brooks in a fucking body bag. Granted, he's playing so fucking slow. I was literally watching that being is Phil meditating? He's not ready to hit. He's just pissing Brooks off. But I was again,
he did that on purpose. He did that on purpose. Totally. Yeah, it was very smart because with that, and I'm sure, again, as a Pete Dye fan of Pete Dye golf courses, Pete Dye is one of the only people who will ever make a course that benefits lefties more than righties. And that the ocean course is actually one of those courses that if you're a lefty, it's a better play for you, especially when the wind did the 180 on the Sunday. And now it was helping out Phil's natural ball flight, which is a little bit more of a cut. And it was killing Brooks's freaking fade, or, maybe he hits a cut. I don't know. I don't know what Brooks hit, but he was getting, Brooks
everybody
was
hits a cut these days.
Yeah. Brooks was all pissed off because he was like, it's not even a ball. Like the ball flight. Oh, it's favoring lefties. And Phil was like, I won.
Yeah. Wait, Brendan, tell me, like, cause a couple of things I want to learn more about you guys too. Like how did you, like, you said you like Pete Dye golf courses. Like, is there a course that you first played that like sparked that, or like, how did that come to be where you were like, I love Pete Dye golf courses? Cause most people are just like, this is hard as fuck, but you're a fan.
So Brian, you're going to have to earmuffs real quick, but so
I'm already mad. Yeah. I'm already upset.
You put that one on a tee for him. He's ready to hit this
my favorite course in the world is Harbortown Golf Links in Hilton Head. We've been going there since I was 5 years old, and we actually I lived down there during COVID for almost 2 years, and I like fell in love with it the first time I went to the RBC Heritage. Like, I think it's an amazing course. I saw freaking Arnold Palmer play there like 1996. The
drink guy, the guy who created that drink.
The guy who created, actually it was 97, because I wouldn't have remembered 1996 because I was 4, but I remember because I was 5 in 1997. So, I just have great memories down there. Like, every time Davis Love III comes around there, people are like, oh my God. And it's the only place in the world where if Davis Love III comes around, people think he's a god because he won the tournament 7 times. But I love that. I love that style where it's like, and everyone says it's like, it looks so easy. And then you just hit the shot that you're not supposed to hit. And all of a sudden you're double bogeying for no reason whatsoever. For hitting a perfectly fine shot, it's just in the wrong spot. And I just think like it's just so interesting because you don't get that from, you don't get that a lot from the other, if you're looking at a Doak course, if you're looking at a Hans course, like I forget. I think it was you. It might have been you, Ashton, who was talking about like Reese Jones tracks. And you're like, yeah, it's going to be a bunker right off the fairway, 290 yards every time. Like, I'm good. Pete Dye don't do that, baby. Pete Dye, it's a different, every single hole is completely different. And the greens are always brutal. You never know. Half of them have false fronts. Half of them, it's a difficult challenge. And I think that's something that, like, for me, it's great. For Hilton Head, it's great that they have a couple of Pete Dye courses down there. And then, I say how hard it is. And then those guys go out and they shoot 24 under over 4 rounds. And I'm like, how did you just?
Yeah, I remember this was a couple of years ago, but I remember it's weird. I do watch a lot of golf, and I just have a vivid memory of watching Abraham Answer hit 18 greens out there and just being like, wow, that's clinical. I mean, I think it was 2020. I think it was. He came in second, but I remember him hitting 18 greens, and it was like,
that was the one where there was no one there because it was COVID, which I was there.
I think Webb won. Did Webb win? I think it was.
Yes, Webb Simpson won. Everyone was pissed. No one likes. I mean, Webb Simpson's just he's Duke's Mayo. He's just there.
He's just a wet blanket.
Yeah, literally. Like he is the most he is. Sorry, Webb. Like, you're probably a great guy, but you have the personality of a ham sandwich where it's bread, ham, bread, and that's it.
Yeah. Do you guys know?
He's definitely listening. He's definitely listening. And he definitely was just.
I know, right? Yeah.
He turned off the pod just right there.
all 75 of our listeners, and one is Webb Simpson every time. How unreal would that be? That would be hilarious.
It's Miss Brendan's mom, Tim and I's mom, and then Webb Simpson.
He's like, I was
honestly, it would fit his brand. It would fit his brand.
Well, we can add Ashton's mom in there now. She's one of our biggest listeners.
Ashton's mom.
Yeah. It's the one time in your life where it's like, I see my mom DMing Chris, and it's like, it's not weird. I just know she's like, thank you guys for a year of great content. And it's like,
She's gonna
Thanks,
she's
Mom.
gonna be DMing Chris, being like, "We got to work on Ashton's temperament. He's pretty upset recently."
Why is he so mad?
Yeah,
What has San Francisco done to my little boy?
And San Francisco of all places does the opposite of that. Yeah,
guys, it's been dumping here for a month. Like, I'm going to San Diego tomorrow, gonna play some golf. I need to get the fuck out of, like, it's been just.
Oh man.
Are you going to Farmer?
I'm
Are you gonna go to
up in the
Farmers at all?
Pacific Northwest.
yeah.
Chris, shut the fuck up. They live in the Northeast. No, not going to the. Sorry, Chris. No, not going. Oh God, I'm not gonna like how this sounds on the back end.
Oh, roasty boy.
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, I mean, just because actually we might, my buddy and I might, if it was going on Sunday, but it's going to be done on Saturday, and Saturdays are one day to play golf. So we're going to go play golf as opposed to watch golf. But I wish I could. But
that makes sense though in that situation.
Did your mom like golf, follow golf at all before you guys started doing the podcast? Or is she just doing it out of pure support?
Pure support.
Love it. Love it. That's incredible.
Great.
Pure support.
Well, now she's out because you're swearing left and right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
She knows.
She has made comments on that. Like, oh, Chris could probably cool it off on the swear words, but
there's other colorful language that you can use that does not have to, you don't have to make angry comments. You can just use other language.
A thesaurus for Christmas or something. Yeah, be like, use these words instead of this word.
Instead of using the F word, just say fiddlesticks. It's just as good.
I like the high pitched voice there. That's great. Well, speaking of weather, I mean, one thing I was going to ask you guys earlier is, I grew up in the South where, I mean, it gets cold, but you can play in the wintertime. Now living in the Bay Area, I can play year round. Like, how is it to be obsessed golfers in places where, like, I mean, how long is y'all's season? Like 6 months, 7 months? How is that?
Dude, it's a problem. I just bought an Oculus, like, for virtual reality golf because I don't have enough space for a golf simulator, and we're constantly jonesing to play, like, no matter what. It's like, I mean, I got my putter right here. Just like I'm rolling putts like between December and whenever they'll let me out. It's tough. And it's kind of like any momentum. Like if you're playing well, which like is a stretch saying playing well, but if you're playing well at the end of the season, you're like riding high, and then they're like, oh, well, snow's coming tomorrow. And they're like, all right, well, great. I'll reset back to square one come April. It's not ideal.
Yeah. And the funny part is too, it's just like golf simulator bars and stuff like that are kind of a new fad, like within the last 5 years.
True.
And I swear to God, like Boston was just forgotten about for all of those. Like we just got a 5-iron literally today. Like they had the soft open yesterday down, and it's in downtown Boston, but like there's like 18 5-iron golfs in New York City. And I actually have DM'd the 5-iron golf guy, so I'm not going to go hard on it, but I was just like, dude, like, how do we not have like this stuff? And luckily there's one in Lincoln, which is where Tim and Brian are from. There's like this, it's XL golf, right? Like a random
golf. Yeah.
Yeah. But they just started moving Top Golfs up here. Like we're getting 2 in 2023, which is nice. But like golf simulators, who would have thought? Let's put them in a place where it's cold all the time, but we didn't get one until this year. It's crazy.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I've never really thought about it like that, but just like Brian said, like Brendan said, I'm going to bed thinking about golf, but with the all knowing in the back of my head that I cannot play the next day. I cannot play within the next week because the ground is either saturated with melted snow or snow itself. And it's like a first world problem, obviously, to not be able to golf, but, yeah, it's a realization that I didn't really think about until you said it, but it's kind of tough. It really is. Yeah.
The amount of times I've watched a Rick Shields video and I've been like, oh, I can try that tomorrow and see if it works. And then I can't because the courses don't open until April. Like brutal.
You almost have to use like the upcoming season as like to not think about that you can't play right now. You'd have to be like, all right, this is what I want to do to make the most out of this next upcoming season. I want to make a golf trip coming up. I want to play this course. I want to play this course. Yeah, it's almost so you kind of have to think about it different ways in order to to compensate for not being able to play in the winter, I guess. That's
By the time March rolls around, I am ready to go to South. Like I am ready to go to South Carolina. I am out of here. Like get me out of here. I just need one weekend to shoot my yearly 99 to 102 just to get it out of me, and then we're back. So
I like how you auto-corrected. You started off with
105. Yeah, I was like, well, we're better this year. We were better. We're coming back down.
Yeah, I was like, no, you got to start at least. If you're going to be aspirational, don't go to the ones. Come on, you got to bring it down. There you go, 99.
I guess I don't feel as bad now being in the Pacific Northwest because we're pretty seasonal, but not anywhere near you guys. Like courses don't fully close down. We probably get like 2 weeks a year of snow. And it's like a dusting compared to what you guys get. Like it'll cover the ground, but by noon it's gone. So it's like we don't really get heavy snow. Like every 3 years we'll get like 5 feet and it'll just like dump on us and the area has no clue what to do. Like everything shuts down. Like the world is ended when that day happens. But we just deal with soggy weather because the Pacific Northwest is just gigantic evergreen trees everywhere. Wow. So like nothing dries out and we get so much rain that in the winter when it's cold, it just stays soggy. So everything plugs, every green is soft, mushy shit that just like your ball goes nowhere. It's kind of miserable to play in, but you can play in it. So for golf sickos like myself, like I don't mind. I'm still going to go out and play and just do what I can. But that kind of leads into like when I have to fit people, and Ashton's going to roast me because this is where I go next. I have to worry more about
like you
carry.
fit. What do you mean fit by that? Like, what do you mean?
So because I'm in the Pacific Northwest,
you missed even the choke. Like I
didn't even know what you were trying to do.
You do this. I'm gonna go back on you. I'm gonna shut up. Sorry, guys. I'm just poking the bear.
This guy. Oh man. But compared to where other places, so when we fit people out here, we actually have to worry a lot more about carry than total distance. So I have to really focus on maximizing people's height, carry, and spin to be able to, so that they can play through the winter, because we only have about 5 months of really, really good weather and the rest is just super wet and soggy. So it's a little bit different where in like Cali, you can hit low flight balls and let it roll for 30, 40 yards, 10 months out of the year. And in the desert, different climates down in Florida, it's a whole different realm. And where you guys, you're a little bit more tuned towards us in Pacific Northwest, where you get like about 4 months of really, really good weather. It's a little bit wet, probably coming into the season. And then it starts drying out towards like May, June.
You described it perfectly. Yep.
And then it dries. Then it's dry. Then your ball will skip to its loo all the way to the hole, basically.
Yeah.
I'll skip to you.
So I get it could kind of go both ways. It's like, I mean, you guys are a little bit more towards like California and your solid weather, but like, for year round, I mean, carry would be something that would be maximized and help you guys out probably in the long run too.
I was about to say, you must love all the new clubs, them, especially like irons, where they turned all, their 9-iron, the old 9-iron, the old Jesus. I wish I could talk. A 9-iron is now the same loft as a 5-iron was from 2013. So I just think I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about that too, especially with you, Chris, since you're in the industry. Like what is the thought behind this? Because I get it. Distance is the most distance. But like, do you ever get someone where you're fitting it and they're like, oh man, I'm hitting this like a club farther. And you're like, well, yeah, because that is actually that club. Like,
so every single fitting that conversation happens. Like I get guys that come in with like 48-degree pitching wedges from the late 90s, early 2000s, and like a modern pitching wedge is between 42 and 45. And they're like, what the hell? Like my 6-iron's going 20 yards further. I'm like, well, one, you're not getting the spin and height that you were getting on yours. It's flying a lot lower. You're able to hit it more, at a piercing trajectory. So the big thing there is it adds distance, but the shafts are where it's come in to compensate for that. So you've seen a lot more like higher flying, higher spinning shafts come out to kind of compensate for those lower lofted, stronger lofted clubs. So you've got like the Tour Elevate from True Temper. You've got like the C-Taper Light from KBS. One of me and Ashton's favorite shafts out there is the LA Golf shafts. They're literally, I think they're the best shafts that you can absolutely put in your irons. I try not to be biased, but 60% of my irons that I sell are with LA Golf shafts. So it's like their dispersion, height, spin. I mean, it's almost impossible to beat on that. And me and Ashton both play the 105s. I play stiffs. Ashton plays extra stiff, but we both play those shafts. And I mean, that's where you're getting all of the characteristics you're looking for is more in the shafts than it is heads now. Where back in the day, in the 90s and 2000s, it was you had dynamic gold and you had like Project X rifles. Like there wasn't a variance of shafts. So they had to give you loft because all you were worrying about is weight back in the day. So it was like you play a regular, a stiff, or an extra stiff. They're all 120, 125, 130 grams. There was no difference in there. And then if you went with more of a whippy shaft, it was only tuned for ladies and older people. So they didn't make graphite that could work for guys that had swing speeds like Ashton or dudes like Bryson. Like Bryson plays 14 clubs in his bag, all graphite, putter included. And that's the same with me. I play 100% graphite driver to putter.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive. That's
a Ticonderoga pencil right there. All graphite.
Yeah. I mean,
what a pull. You just took me back to like fifth fucking grade. That's amazing.
Number two.
Yeah.
Ticonderoga 2.
Also, on a side note, that was like, wasn't that like I know that's a place, but like, wasn't that a battle like it was not like a Revolutionary War, the Battle of Ticonderoga?
It's a fort, I believe. It's a fort.
Fort Ticonderoga. I think it's in New York.
New York, yeah.
Is that where the pencils are made?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's a good question.
I don't know. Are they even made anymore?
Tim did a Boy Scout overnight there, right?
Yeah, sure. Black Bear. Back when I was like Cub Scout, when I was like 10.
He's an Eagle Scout. So
we need to do a deep dive into that.
Let's not.
Yeah. Ticonderoga pencils are made. It doesn't give any information. So they're probably made overseas and put here.
Most likely.
I didn't bring this up just so I can talk about this, but like I realized like that's the only good pencil out there, really. Like really I feel like
this is important. Yeah.
Yeah, it is important. Like you get a shitty Staples pencil, like they make pencils and it's like that's tough. That's not I mean, they're actually better golf pencils than any other aside from Ticonderoga than any other full length pencil. I don't know.
Probably the only like worthwhile tool we were ever given in public schools.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Remember the protractor?
Everything else.
How useless is a protractor?
Oh, I love a good protractor.
Bryson, it's really important.
Oh, that was the best. He had a compass. He had a compass in his green book.
What was you
need that for?
What was the tool to make a perfect circle? What was that called?
That's a compass. That's a compass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a good compass.
Yeah, with the pointed end and the pencil on one side. That
was
the compass. And then he also had the protractor in there too. And everyone was like, what does this dude do? Why are we doing geometry? Just hit the putt.
This is a Bryson.
This is why it's 6.5 hours to finish a round.
Honestly,
the Ticonderoga pencil it's something about the wood was just slightly softer than the other one. It's almost like it's almost
like a McDonald's chicken nugget.
Right. It's like a Pro V1 versus like a different kind of golf ball. It's slightly softer, and the eraser on the end of a Ticonderoga, that much better.
Don't get me started.
That gal.
Don't talk about other golf balls. We don't.
Sorry.
I thought you had a pack of pencils.
Speaking of,
bro, who has pencils anymore?
So speaking of golf pencils, eraser, no eraser. Thoughts?
I would personally like no eraser because I think it would be funny. But if you're not playing in like a tournament, just put the eraser on, because like don't use it, but it's gonna need there, because like I know I have actually messed up like my scores before, so like I don't want to do that. But yeah, no. If you're playing in a tournament, no pencil, no eraser.
Got to be a Ticonderoga.
Yeah. Got to be a Ticonderoga.
Those golf pencils are quality. They're better than real. Like, I mean,
what if it's a Ticonderoga golf pencil?
Oh, I would love that to be their market.
I can't wait for you guys. Like, you guys like have been acquired by your title sponsor is Ticonderoga Pencil. Like, how did this happen? It's like, we'll go back in the archives. I don't know.
That might be a collab swag that we're gonna have to do. We'll have to reach out to them and see like if we could get Duffin Up MuniciPal Ticonderoga golf pencils made.
Imagine. Oh my God.
This is aspirational shit.
They'd be like, sir, no one has called us since 1997.
Well, you probably can only call them. They probably don't even have email set up. You probably can't reach out to them.
They got a fax machine. You got to fax them.
Carrier pigeon. Yeah.
You hear dial up when you give them a call.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I remember, this made me sound like a psychopath, but I remember like, I didn't do this often, but I remember like when I would like snap one of those pencils, and I found it incredibly like, not like relaxing, but it was kind of like, oh, like this is like real wood, you know? And it would kind of like smell good. It would kind of smell.
Yeah.
It's like you would like, you're kind of like I kind of want to like break another pencil, but like this is pointless. I don't know. And I don't think there's a worse feeling.
Asphalt. It's like the smell of asphalt at recess when it rains.
Yes. Oh God, I know. Whoa. That like everyone you said that, like, my brain.
Oh, it's the best.
Everyone that went to school that had a playground outside that had asphalt and tan bark, it was a distinctive smell.
Yep.
It was.
I can smell it right now. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's not a worse feeling in the world than when you have a pencil. Again, a Ticonderoga would never do this. When you're erasing and then the eraser breaks.
And then you got to put those like, little weird caps on top. You got to put those like
the caps. Yeah, the pencil little.
It's like
one of those like condoms. Little condos, yeah.
Like a party hat, a little party hat you put on the top of it.
Oh.
This is a pencil podcast.
No laying up is not talking about pencils right now. This is what makes the Duffin Up MuniciPals podcast different than anything else in the world. We're talking pencils, people.
Shotgun start might, but this is especially niche. This is especially niche.
I wouldn't put it past Brendan and Andy. Not one bit.
But they're talking about fruit. That's a normal thing. Like if you had put in a lottery of like the word Ticonderoga appearing. Or Ticonderoga was not on the bingo card of tonight. Chris talking about fitting clubs, sure. Ticonderoga, definitely not.
But yeah, I mean, no one owned the market better than Ticonderoga. I mean, like Kleenex, I guess, because you call it a Kleenex versus any facial tissue. But Ticonderoga, that they were the market leaders to this day. I mean, the fact that I'm talking about it.
I know this is an audio medium, but I want you guys to realize like he is glowing talking about this. Like this is a genuine smile talking about this. There's a level of authenticity that is like kind of like charming. Like this is awesome. Although I do have a hot take. This is separate, but this is about Kleenexes. I don't use like in my experience. This is just how I grew up. But I've always thought Kleenexes are are stupid because if you're blowing your nose in public, that's rude ? So what I always did as a kid, my mom taught me is I would go get toilet paper and like blow my nose in the privacy of the bathroom. I just think it's weird. You're like in third grade and some kids walk to the front just like We're just like, whoa, like that's like, now with COVID, I'm like germs, like there's got some fucking kid blowing a snot all in the front of the classroom into this.
I'm a big blow my nose in front of the mirror guy because I want to make sure I got all the bats. Yeah. I mean, I got a big schnoz here, so I got to make sure that everything's accounted for and I'm not embarrassing myself.
You go to the bathroom to do that, and toilet paper is the exact same thing as Kleenexes. But
what about
they
Puffs?
built this market on.
What about Puffs tissues, sir? What about Puffs tissues?
With the lotion? With the lotion built in?
Lotion.
That's like the little British kid with the red nose. He's like, "Mama, my nose is red." I think it's like Justin Rose voice.
Yeah.
Then my face feels wet after this.
I agree.
I feel like there's residue left.
I made the mistake of buying the ones that have eucalyptus scent, and boy, I felt like I was tripping after I blew my nose. I was like, "Holy cow, my sinuses have never been more open." I was like, "What is going on right now?" Yeah, so
it's like Vicks Vapor Rub when you're just like, "Oh my god, this works!"
Yeah, you're like awake for it's like I was using Burt's Bees. You guys know what Beeson is? Are you guys familiar with Beeson?
No.
It was like I don't know, like a bunch of people did it in college. Like you put Burt's Bees on your eyelids, and like because of the scent or whatever, it like wakes you up. It's similar to that. I might do it right now. I might be beesing. I might bees right now.
Ryan, I would highly advise against this. You'll be up all night.
Beeson free podcast right here.
Oh nope, he's bees.
Did it? Did it?
Whoa,
beeson.
I'll see you guys on the other side.
Golf subpar is not doing this, baby. No, golf.
It just keeps you awake. Burt's Bees. This is a paid sponsorship. Beeson. Burt's Bees. You can do more than just put it on your lips.
Who got paid for the sponsorship?
Hasn't kicked in yet.
We didn't.
Yeah, no free ads, but like we're giving a lot of like Kleenex, Ticonderoga, Puffs, Bees, Burt's Bees.
Yeah. Who are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about Xerox next? What's the
best paper manufacturer?
It's not paper. Isn't it like a copier? Copier.
Yeah. So it was, they were like the first copier. And people used to say back in the day, we're making a Xerox instead of we're making a copy. So much so that they lost their trademark. So they lost because it became public domain. so they lost their trademark.
Interesting.
It was hilarious.
Well, Frisbee. Does Frisbee do they have like a trademark on that name? I know it's a company.
No, it's literally a Frisbee. So you cannot trademark. Yeah, no. So it's public domain.
Normally a flying disc.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I got hit. I'm getting hit by the bees. My eyes are wider than ever. I'm getting beesed. Don't try this at home, kids. The people listening at home. Webb Simpson at home.
Yeah, Webb Simpson's like. Also, I meant to tell the story earlier. I think everyone needs to. I'm sure people know this, but it's important to remember. One of Webb Simpson's name. One of his kids. He has like 9 kids. Really? One of his kids' name is Wyndham, and he's also sponsored by fucking Wyndham Hotels. Yeah. I think he said this, but I think he did it because like he spends a lot of time in Wyndham's, and so I think he has a positive association with a fucking hotel chain and named one of his 9 kids Wyndham, that's not a mayonnaise sandwich move, but it's concerning.
That's like a Kanye West Kardashian move, north, like just northwest
Elon
Musk move, just like That has repercussions. Your kid has to live with that forever.
Yeah. Before Drake Bell got canceled, he was going to name his kid Taco. The list just goes on.
Like Chris just had a kid, Big C. Yeah, what'd you name him? Jordan? What's your kid?
Oh no, but now I just realized though the thing is Chris's whole thing is hot dogs and Frank. Oh shit, Chris just pulled a Webb Simpson.
Whoa, no.
Did it.
No.
Subliminally, wife didn't know.
Oh no!
Oh, that's a good.
Didn't you want to name Frankie? Like, if it was going to be like, you had some golf names that she rejected.
No,
right?
So if it was a boy, he was going to be named Palmer after Arnold.
I like that.
Nice. I like it
because I couldn't get away. She wouldn't let me go with. Let me go with Freddie because Freddie Couples is one of my faves. She was not about that. She wouldn't let me go Tiger. I don't know.
Damn.
That was Habosh real
what about
fast.
What about Eldrick? Would
Yeah,
she let you go Eldrick and then
Eldrick was not in the cards either. She was not about it.
Yeah. Your wife, she come in and just
that was my wife. She had to come in and get the baby holder.
I thought she had to swat you. Be like, stop talking.
Oh no, she just laughed.
She's like, honey, I'm beezing. Honey, I'm beezing.
Yeah. Your wife and I are on the same level right now. We're both beezing.
I've never seen Brian's eyes open so wide in my
and they're not even open, really. It's like it's between the whiskey and the bees. My eyes don't know what to do with them.
So before I came,
if it was Monday, you're up all night.
I came on, before I left work, on TrackMan, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play one of the local boy tracks for you guys. So I put probably not easy to get onto, but I played Dedham Country Club and Polo Club.
Dedham Country and Polo Club. That's a very nice course.
Yeah. So I played that on TrackMan.
Just your local muni.
Just a local muni on TrackMan.
I do want to talk about that because I know you guys, Chris and Ash, and I think you both mentioned, if Chris, it might be on your side that you've played over 600 out of the 1100. Yes,
I have. I have.
That's number one. That's amazing. Number two, I think it's amazing because I think that's one of the things that the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast in general does so much better than the East Coast, because as Tim knows, as Brian know, I would say 60 to 65% of our courses are private, at minimum. And I mean, we do not, like, nice munis don't really exist around here. Like, we don't have a TPC Harding Park that you can play for $55, or a Torrey Pines that you can play for $55 if you're a San Diego County resident. We have Braintree Municipal, which is $95 for a not great round. So
wait, what's the deal with Braintree? I've never even heard of that.
Braintree Municipal?
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
No, it's an okay course. It's just
it's Braintree. But that sounds like a kid's learning store.
I mean, hey,
right?
Hey, the American Revolution started here for a reason, baby. We got the smart people here. No, I'm kidding.
Braintree.
Yeah.
Like, what is the origin of that?
I don't know.
Braintree? I think
if
it's
they
a
don't
town
have
in
fucking
England.
Ticonderoga pencils, they are missing out. Yeah. Braintree has to have Ticonderoga pencils.
Though it is Braintree is right next to where they're opening up the first Top Golf in our area in Canton, right down the street. We've been hurting for, it's been a drought for Top Golf over here in the Northeast, and the closest one I think was New Jersey. I think that was the closest one, but then it just so happened that they are now they're opening up one right like probably 30-40 minutes from downtown Boston, a Top Golf. And then there's also opening one in Rhode Island, closer to Tim and Brendan and Cranston. So we are sitting high, but I've never even heard of Braintree Municipal. I don't even know. I've played a lot of munis in my day, and I was just thinking that you made it sound like it was like in high regard. So.
No, I was saying, no, it's not in high regard.
You guys play? Is it George Wright? Isn't that the one
that is
featured?
Yes,
George
but that also that was a private golf club forever. Until the late '90s when the city of Boston bought it, and then did they hire Gil Hance, Brian? I forget who they hired to redo it.
I believe it was Gil Hance, and between that, George Wright and William Devine, the two courses owned by the city of Boston, was William Devine was actually the first public golf course in America, actually there.
Boom.
And that's where a couple holes with Francis Ouimet, that's where he did a lot of practicing, and allegedly Tiger held a lot of junior golf clinics and such. And every time I play, it's so funny. I play because I bounce around a lot of because I'm in Brookline. That's where I reside, and I bounce around a lot of the public courses. And every time I play that, what hole is that? The 7th hole, I think it is. Every time I play the 7th hole at William Devine, there's always this legend of Tiger Woods, because it's a dogleg right where you got to go over some water and trees, and everyone's like, oh, well, Tiger used to hit a 5-iron over these trees. And for us, we're hitting like driver just to make the turn. Like, I'm like, there's no way Tiger was able to do it religiously, but I fall victim. I'm the one telling the story now at this point when I'm playing with someone new, because I'm like, I have nothing else to talk to these people about. I'm like, yeah, I guess Tiger Woods used to do this. And but yeah, William Devine, George Wright, those City of Boston courses. And
at some point we need to come. We need to come see those places. Then of course I know y'all are going to be out here, but like we've got some, not quite as much history, but obviously we've got some good ones in the Bay Area.
And Providence has the only Donald Ross made for public course in America. Oh, so Triggs,
let's go.
So Triggs is it's a very famous. It's seen better days, but it's getting better.
Because they turned it over to the city of Providence and it kind of went to shit. But the layout is phenomenal.
It's a true Donald Ross.
It is one of my favorite courses. Yeah,
turtleback greens, the amber waves of dunes,
the handshake number one, first hole handshake where it's straight up, and then hole number 2 will really just kick yourself and keep you up at night. Where it's just like, okay, yeah, welcome to the course, and then hole number 2, go fuck yourself.
True Donald Ross fashion.
Sorry, Ashton's mom. Yeah, I didn't mean to drop the F-bomb. That's Ashton's thing.
Yeah. I've only got to experience one Donald Ross, and that was Ravislow, just in South Chicago.
Okay.
And that place was truly incredible. Same kind of situation where it was private turned public. And so it's towards the border of Indiana. Mm-hmm. And it's phenomenal. But we get kind of spoiled because we've got a lot of, Alistair McKenzie kind of stuff on the East Coast or on the West Coast. And then, he had a lot of apprentices that worked under him. So there's a guy named Jack Fleming that actually helped him out designing a lot of the courses out in Monterey. Helped him design, PASA, and he designed over 100 public courses in California. So
I don't think we have 100 public courses in New England.
but it is, I mean, like when you come to the Northeast and like kind of just East Coast of the US, it's all Donald Ross, and that's what we're used to. I mean, it actually is actually pretty interesting. I just found out like a couple months ago that Donald Ross is actually buried, even though he's from Scotland, and he's buried right down the street. Like he's in Brookline. He like chose to live and be buried here, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's all we're used to is Donald Ross design courses over here, even though like Rhode Island only has that one, but like just anywhere across, like at least Northeast, it's Donald Ross. You know that you're going to get those false fronts, those undulating greens, and the big FUs come some of those where I constantly curse Donnie. I'm like, damn you, Donnie. But no,
Donnie and Pete Dye. Different courses, same reactions. Like every time, different type of architecture, but it's just like, why did you do this?
Realistically, at the end of the day, we all just think at golf. We shouldn't be cursing anybody but ourselves. It's not the designer. Awesome. It's the player.
You guys saying you want to come here and play? I'd like to go over there.
We'll take that switch any day of the week.
I would like to go. To play that Tom Doak complex you got up in Oregon. I don't know if you played it yet, and if you have, I just want to hear all about it. It as
Tom Doak complex. What are you talking about?
You talking about Bandon?
Yeah, Bandon.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, Bandon.
Yeah. So Ashton's actually going in a month. He's gonna spend 5 days out there, play every course in a one trip, and get it all in.
It's Psycho Circus. 8 rounds in 4 days. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna play the preserve on the first day you get there, just to get in the mood. We had on Evan from the Par Train. He was like, that was his one thing. He's like, no matter what, first day you get there, even if it's like you get there in the afternoon, just go out and play 6 holes at the preserve just to get the feel for it.
So Chris and I, when Chris moved up there, we stopped there and we played the preserve, and like Yeah, I mean, also too, it's just like you feel like it's a fucking joke because you're like, oh, am I interested in playing the only par 3 course designed by Core Crenshaw? Yes, I think
and
that
it's
would be
$90.
Yeah, well, and the
Most
cool thing
expensive
too is,
par 3 course you'll ever play.
but the way you can rationalize it though is 100% of those proceeds go to preserve that area. So like it's essentially a donation.
Right.
But yeah, it's you see these
sure.
these green complexes and it's like, this is just like stupid that this exists. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm doing we've played 2 rounds, but yeah, I'm gonna OD on Bandon in a month and I will report back. We've been there for the one night we were there. We were both like, oh my God, this is amazing. But the comparison I make is it sort of feels like if you're gonna go to Disney World and they're like, well, you can walk through and you can like ride Space Mountain, but then you have to leave immediately. And it's like, what about all this other stuff? It's like, no, you have to leave. That's how I felt with Chris. We're like,
yeah,
you're like putting and you're like, well, there's Peck Dunes, but we have to go. What?
We had one day driving through. I was actually moving from the Bay Area to Portland, and my wife was a super champ, drove the moving truck up without me and let me go on a golf trip with Ashton. And so we did Bandon. We stopped there. We played Sheep and OG Bandon in one day. We played the Reserve the day before. I was able to get down there and did a day trip and played Old Mac. But I haven't gotten to play every single course. The only 2 I haven't gotten to play are Trails in Pack Dunes. But everything that we've experienced, I mean, the first time me and Ashton stepped foot out there, I actually got to play Sheep the 3rd day it was open. So when I was moving down to the Bay Area from Portland, like 2 years prior, I asked my wife, I was like, hey, do you mind just making a detour to Bandon if I can get a tee time? And she goes, well, if you can get a tee time. So I called them and they were like, yeah, we actually were open all afternoon for Sheep. And I was like, okay. So I just booked it, showed up at 2:00, played into twilight, and it was incredible. I played by myself, nobody else out there, not a caddy, just strolled through it all alone. And it was like 78, no wind. It was like the most incredible experience you could have stepping foot out there. But it felt so horrible that I had to get in the U-Haul and leave right after the round. It just like hurt inside, like popping in, playing a course and leaving. And that's what me and Ashton kind of had to do too. But Bandon's a special place.
That kind of has this set up to where, I don't know if you had one of these experiences on that certain course during one of the holes where you just kind of, your body is, and you're kind of just totally at peace, at rest, where you look around, no one's around you. You are just walking to your tee shot, which you hit it. So somewhere in the fairway and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so I can see that was provided from that certain round, that you just like happened to book that round on the fly. And then all of a sudden you're in this place where no one's around and you're just totally at peace. I mean, that must be so cool.
It's incredible. And I think that's the coolest thing about West Coast golf. And you could be top to bottom, Washington, all the way to California, is the expansion and like wide range of courses that we get to experience. So you go to Palm Springs, you've got desert golf. You've got Sandpiper, Monterey, like all of these coastal courses. Then you've got all these inland parkland style tracks, anywhere from like Sacramento down to the Bay Area, down through Los Angeles.
I feel like Harding Park's probably under that parkland style, right? Like TBC Harding Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% parkland. And then you've got mountain courses up in Tahoe and, the foothills, and same with like in Washington, when you get out into Spokane and out near like Mount Rainier. I mean, those courses are absolutely incredible. And then you've got high desert like Utah in the middle of Washington, where you've got places like Gamble Sands, which is a David McClay kid course who designed the OG Bandon track. And that place is ridiculous. Like, he just put a challenge course out there which is a 13 hole, like that will just beat the living crap out of you. Like there's greens that have undulations of 40 degrees.
Wow.
It's supposed to eject you. Like it's supposed to be incredibly difficult. And then they're building another 18 hole course out there right now. And it's going to be a whole nother like mecca.
The story was, it was when he was going through his divorce. And so he said he built it angry,
no.
I think.
So that was Tethrow. That was Tethrow right. Down in Bend. And so Tethrow was actually, he claims it as the hardest course ever to be created. And the No Laying Up guys went out there and played it, and they were like, it looked like somebody was pissed off on a bulldozer and was just like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers, and just like built shit that like would just annihilate people.
Oh man.
And that's pretty much what Tethrow is. I mean, you're paying $200+ to get the shit kicked out of you.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's
good.
crazy.
It's not my kind of golf.
Yeah, no, I'm stressed just thinking about it.
Yeah, and really out here, you know, we don't, especially in the Northeast, there's really not quote unquote resort courses because they're not open year round, so you can't really have them. The only one I can truly think of is Cabot, but they're under Kaiser now. So, and they're up in Nova Scotia. They're like truly a resort course. And then like you have, I guess you could call like Mount Washington's course, like kind of a resort course, but it's not really. It is a Donald Ross. It is a Donald Ross.
Babe Ruth golf there. I know that.
But it's unfortunate. We talked with the Cape Cod golf guys about it too. It's unfortunate, and it's not going to change. You kind of just have to roll with it, where it's just like, okay, have some friends that belong to private clubs or belong to all different ones, and then you can play with each other. But it's unfortunate that's just kind of how golf is in the Northeast. But at the same time, I understand why the country club has a $500,000 initiation fee, or why like all of these places.
Is that what it is?
It was at one point. I think they've bumped it down to 250.
Dude, that's more than like Lake Merced, Cal, and Olympic Club out in San Francisco.
It's old money though. No one's ever paid it because they've all been members since they were like they rejected Tom Brady's application to be a member. Like that's how.
Like shit, really?
Yeah, because they didn't want the attention.
They didn't want the attention.
Because there's
which by the way, they just held the US Open, so they're gonna get the attention. But
but they even though his house is right on the country club
the country club. I don't think Robert Kraft, who also has a house on the country club, I don't think he's a member either. And he owns he owns the Patriots.
Yeah, and but there's a muni, a local muni, Robert Lynch municipal golf course, right, like butting up, like separated by a chain link fence right next to the country club that I've played probably couple hundred times, and it's glorious. It's one of those things because I think the country club used to own it, but they sold it because it is kind of like built in a swamp. They were like, we're just going to sell it to the town of Brookline to make a uni course or whatever. So that's a good course to put into your to do. But they've totally revamped. I mean, they got for the when we did host the US Open, they shut down as a 9-hole course because it is an 18-hole course, but they shut down to a 9-hole course in order to allow like media and stuff. It turned into a parking lot for a couple months last year.
Yeah, they ripped that bad boy up.
Yeah, but they got a fat check, so they're totally revamping that whole course.
Cool. That's what it should be. That's perfect.
Yeah, they're redesigning. They're actually like changing the whole layout entirely. Like just like which hole is number one, like it's totally, they're revamping it, and I liked it to begin with, like because that's where honestly back a couple years ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now at this point, but that's where my company had their golf league, and so I was playing that at least a couple times a week, and so I know that place like the back of my hand. But it is one of those things like we were talking about how it gets you were saying damp and wet, but I call it moist. It was very moist, and it was a very moist course, and a lot of people don't like it because it's not that great condition because it is built on a swamp. But yeah, no, that's if you ever come up here, we'll either go there or we'll go to Granite Links, which is probably the best public course in Massachusetts, at least.
In New England, I would say.
In New England, yeah. Granite Links.
We're doing this. That sounds
it
amazing.
Is. If you guys ever want to look that up, so it's built on an old dump.
Yeah, no, so it's all the landfill. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Big Dig, which was like the biggest engineering anomaly known to man at that point. Yeah, but basically like
$3 billion over budget, by the way.
Yeah, and so
we're still paying for it this day.
Yeah, they
took Brian can explain it better too, but they took 93. So 93 used to cut through the city, and it was disgusting. Like it was gross. Like it looked horrible. Like it was a big bridge. Like, you know how you see it in Chicago, like like how they have the elevated roads and the elevated. So it just looked horrible. So then they tore that down. They put it underground.
Yes, so
and then they
just tunnels and highways under the city of Boston. And so all of that dirt, because you got to put the dirt somewhere, is now in Quincy, Massachusetts. And it was just a huge pile. It's all quarry. But now they turned it into a golf course, and it's
one of my best friends lives in Quincy. He just moved from actually Brookline to Quincy.
No, it is one of the most beautiful. It is, and it's a beautiful
awesome
course.
I play there every year in this charity golf scramble, and it's way more money than you want it to be. I mean, like playing around is like $150 minimum, and that's during the week for that. But like, it's worth it. Like some of the best views, you overlooking the skyline of Boston. It's really freaking cool. And allegedly there's a because it is an old quarry too. So allegedly some of the one of Whitey Bulger's, the great Irish mob boss, one of his cars is down there, and probably some bodies too. But just some good crime family history. But it's one of the coolest courses ever. It's well kept. It's definitely the best bang for your buck. So
that kind of gives me, like, that story gives me kind of Chambers Bay vibes. So Chambers is built on like an old dump site. So it like legit like trash dump. Like it like legitimately have pipes coming out of the ground to let fumes out for the actual trash underneath it. And so the city the state of Washington just literally on wasteland built this absolutely spectacular public golf course out there. And I mean, you guys probably watched the US Open that was out there.
Don't tell Billy Horschel it was a great golf course. Don't you dare.
You know what? Really? The greens were better then than they are now. And they changed the fucking greens because of those stupid ass PGA Tour players. And then they never fucking came back.
Boy, they complained so hard too. They complained so hard.
It's natural fescue. That's what links is. When they go and play in Europe, when they go and play, on St. Andrews and all those courses out there for the Open, they don't complain one fucking word. But it's like in America, if you're playing natural fescue greens, like if they ever held a big end tournament at Bandon, those guys would have a shit fit.
Really?
Because that's all the greens at Bandon. They're all natural fescue.
I think they're going to become that way. I think Old Mac was the first one that was full fescue, but then basically they've said that like over time the fescue is going to take over, but that's not a bad thing. Honestly.
No, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what true links is. It's just mowed down natural fescue.
Right.
No. And that's the problem. Like, for example, I played golf last weekend. Sorry to all of you who probably did not do that.
What's that like golfing last weekend?
We forgive you. We forgive you.
But like there was a par 5 where like it's kind of set up like not like actually like a Redan, but it's set up where like you're hitting a 3-wood in, and it's supposed to kind of be run up. It's going to kind of move to the right. And I hit the shot right where it was to, but because it's the wrong grass and it was a little bit wet, the ball like hit and stopped, and it was like, well, if this is the right agronomy here, ball runs right to the hole, but it's like, but that's again, these TJ Tour guys are used to playing the dartboard tour where they're used to flying it all the way to the hole. And it's like, no, like the hole's literally built for the movement there, but
Yeah. I mean, that's Florida golf.
Know?
That's literally Florida golf.
Billy Horsch is a Florida man.
Yeah. Like I will not ever say bad things about Florida courses because they're all amazing, but it's like the PGA Tour is definitely, and Liv is too. Like they are Parkland style courses where it's like big stick goes boom, boom, and big stick goes boom, boom very far. And it runs 30 yards after the big stick goes boom, boom. And then you have a wedge. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Is that an industry term? Boom, boom.
62. Like, congrats. And that's why you see it. It's always like, there's always going to be really good guys. Like, Cam Smith grew up playing not really link style in Australia, but he had a similar vibe to it. Rory, obviously being in Ireland, like a lot of like Bubba Watson, for example, said he cannot play link style. Like he has not made the cut at the Open Championship in forever because he's just like, I can't play links because it's just not suited for me because I can't hit the ball far and just have it run forever.
Yeah, but that's your profession. You gotta adapt, dude.
But Bubba won't adapt. Bubba just wants to hit his banana slice. And honestly, it is a thing of beauty that he puts that in the fairway most of the time because it just goes.
And I only say that for him because I'm like, dude, you're
it's Bubba. It's Bubba.
Yeah, adapt, dude. It's like, what else do you got going on?
Oh man, but that is, I just think it's it's really interesting on that side because they do say I think Bandon's the same way where it's walking only. Cabot's the same, Cabot's that way. I like that. I think that's really cool, but they're like, this is how golf should be played. I just think like what Ashton was saying too, when you have the correct way of building that course out, like that is very important and it brings it into everything. So that's really cool that, Bandon's going back to kind of that too. And so I can't believe Chambers changed their greens. That's hilarious.
Have you spent a ton of money? Yeah. So I played it before and after. So I was able to play it on the natural greens and I thought it was better then because they were running slower and it's already very severe terrain. They're very difficult greens to play. So because these pros want certain things out of spin and see balls do certain things, it doesn't react like that. It kind of lands and you might get a little bit of a rollout, but there's just not going to be a lot. It rolls at like a 9 stint instead of a 13. Like they want it to be like glass hard as a rock. And that's kind of how it plays now. And you just get ejected off these greens. Like you'll land something pin high and you'll be in the back bunker. Wow. Doesn't matter if you're throwing a pitching wedge or lob in there. It's just like, they don't stick. They're not as responsive. They're super rock hard. And it's still an absolutely amazing track. And I mean, the design, layout, where it's placed right on the Puget Sound, right on the water is just like, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, it's, you cannot beat it. I would say I've had some people reach out to me about this take, but I like Chambers better than every course I've played at Bandon.
Wow. That's a big take.
We may need to get Ashton back on here. We may need to get Ashton in here to tell you how spicy it is.
Ashton hasn't played it yet. Ashton hasn't played Chambers yet.
That's a spicy meet the ball right there.
No, this is what I'm not going to even respond to because it's like I like controversial opinions and I don't have enough data points to know. No.
I'm going to piggyback on that and say that Chambers Bay is the most memorable and most famous one and done major course on.
Yes. Yeah. And it also shouldn't have been so one and done. They should at least
also for you guys on the East Coast, like prime time West Coast, it's the best. I mean,
Jordan Spieth won and Dustin Johnson collapsed. It was just perfect.
So I will say
the whole story.
And it was
go ahead.
The whole story behind Chambers. So the reason Jordan met his caddy is actually Justin Thomas went out and played a US Am at Chambers, and he got teamed up with Jordan's caddy. And that's who caddied for him in the US Am. And he already had a caddy going into the PGA that he was ready to go before he was with Bones, the guy right before Bones. And so he goes to Jordan and he goes, "Hey, Jordan, I met this guy out at Chambers. I think you and him would get along really well. I think he'd be a great caddy for you on tour." And Greller was an English teacher in Seattle, and he caddied on the side. And then so Greller met Jordan. They've been together ever since. But Justin was the one that introduced him.
Imagine us not getting that. Imagine us not getting, "Oh, Mike calls on the weekends now." Imagine us not getting that. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
That was also the first
He was just a local Chambers caddy.
That's incredible. What a story.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's also very cool that he won at the US, like Jordan won the US Open at that court. Like, I didn't know that part. That makes that story even better.
Why haven't they
the guy caddied there?
Wow.
Yeah, they talked about it very briefly in the coverage, but like that's what one thing I always piggyback with Tron and all the guys from No Laying Up is like, you should have been harping on that. Like every good shot he makes, he goes, Greller knew that. Greller knew that shit. Like he knew exactly to hit it on that slope. It's going to do that. It's going to react this way. Like they should have been harping on that because Greller knew that course. I mean, he caddied there for years before he caddied for Jordan. So he knew that course inside and out. I mean, he'd loop it 3 or 4 times a day for years.
That's unbelievable.
Also, that was the first time that just another thing about that tournament was that was the first time Fox covered a major tournament, and it was the first time that they used the shot tracer on all the shots rather than just the drives. So they used it on every single thing. I thought that was cool. I mean, when I was
that coverage was horrible. That coverage was horrible.
16.
Joe Buck and Greg Norman on the call.
Dude.
Oh,
was it Norman?
It was Norman was the call, and he was like, thank God this live thing is working out for him because he was horrendous as a color analyst. Like literally, he was Nick Faldo on steroids. Not Nick Faldo. He was like John. He was, oh God, what's his last name? Johnny. Johnny Miller. He was like, well, I would have made that shot. It's like, all right, Greg, shut the fuck up.
But it's like no one even talks about Davis Love III. He was going to be before Zinger. He was going to be the Zinger replacement. I think he did 1 week, and they were like,
"We can't do this."
Because to your point, like white bread sandwich, like Zinger's not good. I mean, Zinger's not that interesting. I mean, with this whole like pressure all bullshit. But like, yeah, it's funny when guys they're like, okay, DL3, and then it's like, oh, you suck. Like this is not good.
It's like Jason Witten from Monday Night Football. It's like we have made a terrible mistake. Like,
dude, I will say though, Zinger's zinger about the pack the last week was incredible.
A gigantic waste of time.
Gigantic waste of time. And then they asked Max Homa about it on No Laying Up, the episode that got released yesterday. And Max Homa's like laughs and he goes, yeah, sometimes. And he's on the pack right now.
But see, it's incredible what happens when people are honest, when they do their homework and they're honest, and it's not this cookie cutter gentleman's bullshit. Like, just give us some authenticity, right? That's all we're looking for.
This can kind of loop into this question that I got. Are you guys excited for the Netflix?
Big time.
Big time. It's going to be so good.
I know Formula One got big in the US because of Drive to Survive and like Breakpoint. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard amazing things about Breakpoint. And I just heard Nick Kyrgios is an absolute D-bag in it the entire time too. But I'm telling you right now, like they could not have planned that better. Like literally they had everyone lined up, Ian Poulter, Dustin Johnson, all these guys. And halfway through, oh, we're out.
It's perfect.
What?
I can't wait. Well, because also too, a lot of these guys have just totally disappeared. That's where I'm sad of like, again, he made a bad choice, but like, I was a big fan of like Brooks treating professional golf more of like a sport, not this like, yeah, I don't know. So it's interesting where like the saddest part about LIV is these guys have like totally disappeared from us, but like I'm really excited. I'm eager to see like, well, like what happened though? Like what was, I'm hoping they really show us the authenticity around how those guys were feeling, because, you know, it's kind of crazy for those of us who are sickos. Like those guys goes from being a big part of our life to completely MIA. Like I thought about Brooks Koepka a lot, and now I don't think about Brooks Koepka at all. And that's why this major season honestly is going to be huge, because like, I don't know, like is Cam going to be really good at Augusta again? Like probably, but like he hasn't played any competitive golf in 6 months. Like, I don't know.
And Brooks is running out on his exemptions. Like, I think this is his last year for the Masters. PGA he gets for life. He doesn't have a British last year for the British, I think, because his last win was 2018.
Is the PGA for life? Is it?
Yeah.
What Open the British?
No, the PGA.
If you win the PGA
is life. Yeah, dude. John Daly plays in it every year.
You're right.
Yeah. And then the British Open is till 60, which is a weird cutoff, a very weird cutoff. Like I've always thought that, because that's personal.
Very English. That's very like UK.
Yeah, that's
kind of like
personally
it. It's like, this
like
is
my
performative
favorite.
after 60. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's personally my favorite major, and I love it. But it's just like 60. Like, just make it for life. Who cares? Like,
what about
you're gonna get 150 guys on that one anyways. It's just like the U.S. Open. You're getting 150 guys at that tournament. Who cares if John Daly plays until he's 78? Like, Jack Nicklaus played it until he was in longer than 60. I think he got a like exemptions and everything too. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
But
I'm just thinking like this has been so fun, because like we've gotten everything from pencils to municipal golf to LIV to, we've covered a lot of shit. A lot of shit that I didn't think we were going to talk about, especially with no agenda.
Ticonderoga pencils.
I mean, that we may have to name it Ticonderoga with the municipal. We may have to think of a good name on that side.
I mean, seriously, I do think like some sort of like, if we could have like a T-shirt where we like have a pencil and then like our two names on the pencil, like that I would wear the shit out of that
with bite marks in it.
Oh, gotta have the and since it's a Ticonderoga, that eraser will be on there hard. Like that thing will be glued on.
Did you guys ever make fun of the people who like, you remember when people would put like grips on their pencil? It's like, those like foamy grips. It's like,
I forgot about those
grips.
Because I mean, my thing was, I actually really liked the old school like Bic, the BIC mechanical ones, and those came with a grip. But you can't put a grip onto a wooden pencil. I mean, that's
you need the callus right on your middle finger. You need that
right. The indent right here.
Those are work.
The people that did that also would carry the pencil like boxes, and then they would also have all the Lisa Ann.
Yes. Lisa Frank.
All the like Lisa Frank folders.
Not Lisa Ann, all the like
Lisa rainbows and kitties on them. No,
not elementary school appropriate.
Lisa Frank.
Oh my God, Chris. This is gonna get canceled.
I only know Anne Frank. That's the only Frank I know.
Brian, no.
Thank God my wife doesn't listen to this shit.
No. We're not going that route either.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so funny. But no, I remember. Oh my God, that's so
not the climate for that. Not a good bit.
No, not the climate. Not the climate.
No respect.
Like I was super down until they started talking about Anne Frank, and then I'm kind of confused what's going on.
Maybe I need to find a Lisa Frank scorecard holder.
Ooh.
See if I can locate one of those.
That'd be
little kitties and rainbow scorecard holder.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Call it a Lisa Ann.
Very Portland.
Very Portland. You can name it Lisa Ann.
I don't know.
That's gonna be our first merch drop. Lisa Frank scorecard holders.
Lisa Frank scorecard holders.
If it was a regional thing, but our school would give out the error mark like planners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All error mark there. That was
isn't that like don't they like do like
food services?
Food
services. It was all food services. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
The American school system is so fucked. Like, what are we doing? Like, just think about what we're talking about. Like, this is not normal. It's like, oh, how'd you get your notebook? Oh, the fucking food services. It's like overcharging the school.
I was gonna say I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I remember Aramark and Ticonderoga. It's insane.
I salute your service, sir. Ticonderoga.
It's unbelievable. That one took us off. We do so Tim, we can skip over the actual golf questions because I think we crushed the golf questions. Do you want to do the last two food questions?
Yeah, we'll finish it up real quick. I know we got to get out of here. Do you want to do the F Marry Kill one, or do you want to do the smell one? Let's do the smell one, and then the big.
I think those two are probably better than the cake and the.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, but it's very vague. It's 2023. Let's go. Let's do the smell one because we were already talking about smells.
Okay, Ticonderoga, you tell we're giving you the keys.
All right, boys. We kind of touched upon a smell that you guys like that isn't normally known as a good smell. What is a smell that is not normally by all not to be a good smell, but you secretly kind of like?
Nail polish remover. Like
nail polish remover.
That's a new one.
Wow.
Yeah. But I know when I was a kid, when I was like a kid, my mom would get her nails done, and I'd like sit there with like my Game Boy, and I would just be sitting there kind of like breathing in and being like,
that's
like this smells, and I think I was probably getting like a little bit of a head high because it's not really supposed to be. I was kind of probably a little loopy.
That's why you are the way you are. Yes.
Is it anger? That's the new line. Are you angry, or is it the nail polish remover talking?
Ashton.
But no, to this day, like I love nail polish remover smell. I to be clear, I don't frequent that smell, but when I smell it, I like it. So that's it for me.
Gotcha.
That's why you're passed out when I come over. You're huffing nail polish remover.
I didn't say huffing. It's just when I'm adjacent. When I'm adjacent to nail
it's a
polish
whiff.
remover. Yeah,
just a whiff, not a huff.
Oh, it's funny.
Well,
how about you, Chris?
I think
Chris, what do you whiff?
This is super distinct, and most people probably would never even know what this actually smells like. But old glue that Ping used to use on their golf clubs from the 80s and 90s. So when I started rebuilding clubs, and I still have to deal with this shit all the time. So when like the Ping I2s or the Ping Zings, those old school like big heads, they used to use this like old school industrial like glue. This shit is like it literally lights on fire. So when you heat up the heads to pull them off shafts, it literally like spits fire out of the shafts. And it like gives this like giant black cloud of smoke. And I don't know why, but like I absolutely love the smell of like the burning glue. It's the weirdest shit ever.
I can't believe you pulled that smell out of your archives and said it so specifically at a moment's notice on that answer.
That's unbelievable.
He's been waiting for that for sure.
We sound like borderline drug addicts. Like Chris is over here like
huffing glue, huffing nail polish remover.
He's ripping apart clubs to get his high. I'm over here just like drinking nail polish remover.
He's like, I also like the smell of cocaine.
Ashton just got cotton balls full of like nail polish remover all over his house.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wow, what a question. Good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Some of our questions are interesting to say the least that we end up.
All right, we doing the FM kill one? Is that the one we're thinking?
Yeah, we can hit that one real quick and then
all right.
we'll.
All right. Yeah. So you guys know the game F, Marry, and Kill, right? Of course. Yep. All right. So this is going to be the Fuck, Marry, Kill of food edition. You can spend a night with one, you can marry one, and you have to kill one. It's going to be the breakfast edition: French toast, pancakes, and waffles. You're going to F one, you're going to marry one, and you're going to kill one. What are you guys going to do?
So I would fuck pancakes.
Interesting. We haven't heard that one yet. Very interesting.
I would marry waffles and I'd kill French toast.
Love the kill French toast. Love it.
I'm exactly the same. I actually actively dislike French toast.
Oh, wow.
I think you're going to say I actively fuck pancakes.
I'm in the same boat. See, me and Ashton, this is why we're
we end on this.
MuniciPals.
After me telling you to like go fuck yourself for most of this podcast, we end on a cohesive fuck, marry, kill.
That's unbelievable.
Waffles are the goat by far, and French toast is just like a waste of. It's like we're gonna take this bread
waffles
and then, like,
are the
wipe
best.
it around on stuff.
Waffles have the port slots for the butter and the syrup.
Yeah.
It's like it's built in to absorb.
Yeah.
Like where like pancakes just become like a gloopy mess sometimes if you don't eat them quick.
Yeah,
And
but to use the analogy on the fuck front, if you get like some hot chocolate chip pancakes and eat them really fast, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
But like if you're looking for one night,
you gotta really drill it. You gotta really drill it and get it hard. You gotta really go hard.
We just took this. Oh my god. Okay. Hashtag pork cringe.
Absolutely love it.
That was unbelievable. Well, gentlemen, I know we've been talking for a little bit, but as always, unbelievable. We gotta do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, we gotta play some golf.
Yeah, we gotta play golf. We gotta play golf. That's it.
Oh my god.
But get your ass out here, guys. Like the rain has stopped. Like we could play this weekend. Come on. Let's go.
Wow.
We got out of there.
Oh my god. Seriously, right?
Hop on a plane.
Man, I wish it was that easy.
Let's go play Tom Doak. We got to play Tom Doak.
I know we do have to play Tom Doak, of course we do. And then you guys got to come out and play Donald Ross with us because that's here, baby.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, the Duffin
We'll
Up.
show you about 5 different architects. You guys can show us Donald.
Yeah. Yes. Donnie with a hint of Pete Dye here and there. That's
there you go.
But anyways, the Duffin Up MuniciPals collaboration. What an unbelievable time. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate this. And
thanks, guys. This was super fun.
Thanks for having us. It was a good time.